what other important messages were you trying to give with When Helping Hurts?
Yeah. There's so many key ideas, the idea of the poor of assets, the difference between relief and rehab and development, the idea of participatory development. All those were key ideas, and the church seems to have found those helpful. But there's one more idea that I think has been really central that the Lord has continued to work with me on, and that's the idea that if poverty is rooted in broken relationships, then there's a sense in which all of us are poor, not necessarily in a material sense, but in the sense that none of us are experiencing a relationship with God, with self, with others, and with the rest of creation in the way that God designed.
Wait, preaching is starting to get into meddling here. Doesn't it feel that way? I mean, you're saying that if I'm the one that's giving, if I'm the one that's serving, wait a second, I have broken places too that I've got to be aware of.
Totally. But that's the good news of the gospel. At one level, it's kind of discouraging to find out that you're broken. But the good news is the gospel, that Jesus comes to heal that brokenness. And it's actually very freeing. So often, I think in the West, we have to kind of put on a good face. We've got to look like the beautiful people. And I suspect that the gathering might struggle with that once in a while. But the pressure of living up to that is just too much for us to bear. And that's the good news of the gospel, that Jesus frees us from that. The good news of the gospel is not that you're okay, not that I'm okay. The good news of the gospel is that we stink. The good news of the gospel is that all of our righteous acts are as filthy rags. The good news of the gospel is that we're not okay, but that Jesus is okay, and that the Father loves us through the coming of the Son to die for us. And so I think many people have found that freeing.